Hey everybody, welcome back to Mid-Rock Crisis. I'm your host, East Coast Pete. And today we're going to talk about Steve Morse. Known as the hardest working guitarist in the world. Whatever I say about him here is only a sliver of the music he's provided. He was born in 1954, American guitarist and composer. He founded the Dixie Dregs. He also played as an official member of Kansas for a time and then later with Deep Purple. Not to mention his solo work and collaborations. Rock, country, jazz, classical, prog, and fusion of any or all of these. Morse was born in Ohio, but his family moved out of state a bunch of times. Ohio to Tennessee, to Michigan, and then to Georgia. His first band, The Plague, was formed in Michigan by school chums. In the late 60s, new band 3 in Georgia played at a youth club named the Green Onion. They also played Legion Halls and at church. Morse met bassist Andy West at school. They formed Dixie Grit with keyboardist John Carr, vocalist Frank Brittenham, and brother Dave Morse on drums. They played Zeppelin and Cream songs. And then after high school, the Dixie Dregs formed at the University of Miami School of Music. Bruce Hornsby, Pat Metheny, and Jaco Pastorius were also in or around the school at this time. When Morse and West graduated, the Dixie Dregs reformed with Rod Morgenstein on drums. They covered John McLaughlin and Southern rock hits. Capricorn Records noticed the Dixie Dregs. They signed in 1976. The first albums kind of sounds a little like Metheny and or Jaco. The album's called Free Fall. First showed Morse's guitar abilities to fans of fusion, but the album didn't chart. Is Jan Hammer in the house? But Capricorn folded at that point, leaving the Dixie Dregs without a label. A wary Arista Records would take a chance, but asked the guys to get rid of the Dixie. The new album was by the Dregs. It had 8 new Morse songs, but sales did not improve. Unsung Heroes was both the album's name and the state of the band. But they got a Grammy nomination. Arista decided that the plain old Dregs needed a vocalist. Thanks, Arista. New album also a priority, named Industry Standard. Vocals were contributed by Alex Lingerwood of Santana and also by Patrick Simmons of the Doobie Brothers. Interesting choice. My first exposure to Steve Morse was their album Dregs of the Earth. I bought it for the sleeve art, which was strange, but the music was great. And then I saw Morse and the Dixie Dregs play at a supper club in Jersey. It was a dregulating experience for moi. Here's the songs I remember. Road Experience, Pride of the Farm, Twigs Approved, Hereafter, The Great Spectacular, The Broad Street Strut, I'm Freaking Out, and Old World. By the way, it really wasn't Capricorn's fault that they folded. They had lost their cash cow when Otis Redding died. Plane accident. Now the Dregs are a great band, but they were scraping the bottom of the barrel in sales. They put the cork back in the bottle and folded in 1983. Morse formed the Steve Morse Band, a trio with Jerry Peak and Doug Morgan, and vocals by no one. Steve Morse Band signed with Elektra. Rod Morgenstein replaced Morgan. First album, optimistically titled The Introduction, in 1984. And then the second album, Stand Up, in 85, made as a collaboration with Peter Frampton, who was also looking to make a comeback. In 1996, Morse joined Kansas in one of their many configurations. 2 albums, Power and In the Spirit of Things, Morse's guitar breathed life into Kansas, who had gone flat. Gone flat. All I Wanted was a top 20 hit, Kansas' last chart appearance at this time or ever. In '94, Morse joined Deep Purple, replacing temporary guitarist Joe Satriani, who had replaced Ritchie Blackmore. When he left, Purple for 4 more colors in Ritchie Blackmore's Rainbow. Morse was with the Deep Ones for 6 studio albums and 7 live albums. Steve Morse then joined with Jim Barnes, Bob Daisley, Lee Kerslake, and Don Airey to form Living Loud in 2003, to work concurrently with Deep Purple. Deep Purple didn't care. They had a guitarist. That's all they cared about. Morse provided acoustic guitar for Sarah Spencer on her Angel Fire project. In 2011, Morse formed the new band Flying Colors, an American supergroup with Dream Theater drummer Mike Portnoy, David LaRue on bass, and singer-songwriter Casey McPherson, and prog rock composer Neil Morse, no relation. Second Nature was released in 2014 to critical acclaim. Has the music world finally caught up with the royalty of Steve Morse? He's collaborated with Liza Minnelli, Steve Walsh, a Lynyrd Skynyrd tribute, the Rossington Collins Band, Carmen Appice, Luciano Pavarotti, Ron Airey, John Wetton, John Lord, John Anderson, and Peter Frampton, and many, many more. Here's a partial discography with the Dixie Dregs, The Great Spectacular from '76. It sounded a little like Kansas, but without a heart. '77 Free Fall, a very cartoony sleeve art, which was not particularly inviting. And '78 What If, and this one is Pete Pardo's pick of the Dregs. Had a red and green horizon on the sleeve, like a seashore near Barnard Star. '79 Night of the Living Dregs, Punk Sandwich, Country House Shuffle, not country, the Riff Raff. There were some acoustic songs as well. In '80, Dregs of the Earth, Road Expense, Twigs Approved, I'm Freaking Out. In '81, Unsung Heroes, Day 144 was proggy, modern, melodic. No more Dixie trading solos. This one's on cruise control. In '82, Industry Standard, again, sounds like Kansas. Vocals don't sound like Kansas anymore, more like Black Oak, Arkansas. '94 Full Circle, Fast Track. This was pretty good, better than Industry Standard. Did they ditch the vocals? I hope so. Calcutta is very rock. Going to Town isn't. Shape of Things was a Yardbirds cover. And with Deep Purple, in '95, Bombay Calling. This was a live album, and Morse fit right in. But I wonder, does he miss his jazz roots? In '96, Perpendicular. Morse turned loose. Deep Purple is not doom metal. Nothing scarier, no sex innuendos. It's kind of a serious metal band. In 98, Abandon. Riff rock re-rises, almost human. Jack Ruby in 69, Fingers to the Bone, Seventh Heaven, and Watching the Sick. In 2003, the album Bananas, Back to the House of Pain, and this is not their best effort. Razzle Dazzle. In 05, Rupture of the Deep. Everything I Want, experimental, Eastern, girls, like that. You've Got the Wrong Man, Save in Your Hands, Eastern, love it. The title track is superb. And MTV is great too. So in 13 they came out with Now What? John Lord died. Now what? This is my favorite time. It does not matter unless it's up. Here we are with all the time in the world. What a great, great song that is. Now recently in 17, Infinite, Time for Bedlam, Rapture, and Now What? We're better. And here's some with the Steve Morse Band in 84, the introduction. It's a power trio. Lots of overdubbing guitar parts. It's a General Lee sort of ragtime, vertical hair factor. In 85, Stand Up, and the vocals are back. Morris guitar and someone's vocals don't seem to have anything to do with one another on this one. In 86, Power with Kansas. I'm going to say no to this one. It's way too mainstream for my taste. This is Morse's first Kansas. Now Walsh is back on keys and vocals, so there's that. In 88, In the Spirit of Things with Kansas, about a Kansas flood in 1959. Album had no hits. The MTV video for Stand Beside Me was released in 89. SMB High Tension Wires, number 82 in the US. Sorry, number 182 in the US. Ooh. Ghostwind, Modoc, Mellow, The Road Home, bunch of slow songs. And in 91, Southern Steel with Simple Simon and no vocals. Vista Grande in 92, Coast to Coast, Flat Baroque, This Is More Like It. Dynamic, comical, tight, fast, and melodious. In 95, Structural Damage, Sacred Ground, Smoky Mountain Drive. Sure, I'll go on a Smoky Mountain Drive sometime before, 96, Stress Fest, Brave New World. 2000, Major Impacts, themes and riffs of other artists to make up a new song entirely. Then 03, Living Loud, Daisy and Kerslake from Ozzy's Diary of a Madman period. Don Airey was on keyboards. There was a Mr. Crowley remake. And Jimmy Barnes was on vocals. It's not the same without Ozzy though, is it? In 09, Outstanding in Their Field, Rainmaker. That was my favorite one on that. 04, Major Impacts. Now, this is the second reconstruction of pieces based on songs of other artists. Then in 2010, Angel Fire with Sarah Spencer did the song Far Gone Now. This is a fairly subdued outing for Mr. Morse. In 2012, Flying Colors This is the name of his new band. Did I say Flying Covers? I meant to say Flying Colors. Debut album, Casey McPherson vocals, Neil Morse keys, Dave LaRue on bass, Mike Portnoy on drums. 2014, Second Nature, Mask Machine single, second Flying Colors album, One Love, Forever, and there's Eastern world music here as well. 2000, Major Impacts, Just the Themes, man. Okay, I do want to tell you these songs on this album. Number one is Derail Your Gears, based on Cream, but not curdled. Number two, Well I Have, based on Hendrix, not covers, reconstructions. It's kind of like Steve Morse is playing the way Jimi Hendrix would play if he were there to play this song. And then three, Truth-O-La. Same thing with Jeff Beck's style. 4, Migration, Birds. There's no lyrics on any of these. 5, Led On. This is a Jimmy Page via Bert Jansch roller coaster ride. The number 6 is The White Light, and I don't know who this is. 7, How Does It Feel? Playing like Peter Frampton. 8, Bring It to Me. 9, Something Gently Weeps. It's like a George Harris song. Free in the Park. And then 11, Prognosis. Jillian's In, Screamer Dreamer. Check out Tropical Nights with none other than Miss Liza Minnelli. Can't even talk right. I remember seeing Steve Morse and the Dixie Dregs way back in the 70s. Took a friend from work. It was at that dinner club I was telling you about, and we sat real close over on the side of the stage near Steve. We got to see everything he was doing and hear everything he was doing, but neither one of us could really follow everything he was doing. So fast and fluid. It was like a blur. I asked my friend, so are you a Dreggy? And he said, I am a Dreggy. I remember that guy, he was going out with a girl that he met at college from China. And I made the silly comment to him that someday I would like to also date a girl from the Asian area. And he just kind of looked at me and said, East Coast Pete, that's never going to happen. Because you don't really date someone based upon their race. I've learned that now. Yeah. Thanks everybody for being with me. I'll come back and see you sometime real soon on Mid-Rock Crisis. Bye-bye.